Bless up, fam. Hope y'all doing well. It's beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Hope y'all doing extremely well. Just this light out just a little bit. So today is September the 19th, 2023, and the weather is divine in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here for a few days. If y'all been following me, been enjoying this beautiful weather, been adapting to embrace this beautiful downtown. Downtown is truly beautiful. I am enjoying myself far as looking at these beautiful sights, and Atlanta has definitely come a long ways, and everything has been pleasant. And one thing I will say, just in the proximity that I've been in, for the city to be this size, I would say the Southern hospitality has been phenomenal. People have been more than helpful. People have been cordial. They speak, which, sometimes you don't get that when you travel to certain places. Everybody in their certain grooves, everybody in a certain thing. And sometimes you don't always get that all the time. So it has definitely been a pleasure to be here in the state that I pretty much grew up in, pretty much spent all my life, other than my summers in the beautiful state of Florida. But my adult life, I have primarily lived in the state of Florida, but it has definitely been welcoming here in Atlanta. So we got a few people. If y'all can, just put in the chat, make sure you all can hear me and see me clearly. Sometimes things look a little bit good on my side, but then when I go back and I play certain things, they don't look as good as they do when I do the replay. Caddy, how you doing? What's going on? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All in the soil, how are you doing this beautiful evening? Let me know where y'all coming in from as well. Let me know. You driving, Gigi? Well, let me help you drive on in, okay? Let me help you drive on in. Janelle, B. Israel, how you doing? Many blessings. Got thumbs up. Let me know where y'all coming from. Good evening to you all. I hope y'all having a beautiful evening. Make sure you take in some of these rays. If you're blessed to have some of this southern sun, this southern sun is beautiful. Make sure you keep this on live. Sit on your back patio or sit in your favorite spot and get you a nice little cup of whatever you would like and just relax. And we're just going to have a nice, short, intimate conversation about a few things that I'm going to try to do 10. I might do 11, might be doing 12, but it definitely will be a minimum of 10 things or 10 ways to prepare before you consider off-gridding. So if you all been chomping at the bit, you've been thinking about off-gridding, you've been thinking about taking this plunge, been thinking about unplugging from the city, you've been thinking about just letting everything go to get out into nature and relax. You've been thinking about listening to the birds wake you up. You've been thinking about listening to the crickets at night, and you really just want to get that beautiful scenery where the sun wakes you up and give you a kiss in the morning, and then the moon just go ahead and tuck you in at night. You come to the right place. So you have definitely come to the right place. Cassandra's South Fulton Garden, how you doing? Good evening to you. Gigi, you hear me good? Excellent. Safe travels to you too, Gigi. Janelle, Arizona, all the way out in Arizona. Beautiful. Hopefully in Arizona, you all are getting a little bit of lower temperatures. Maybe hopefully you'll be getting some breezes as well. Then we have Cassandra, right there in the beautiful state of Georgia. Got Georgia on my mind with those Georgia peaches. Welcome on in. I see my good friend Be Rich. When I get, matter of fact, hopefully, if the Lord's will, I'll be back Eco Nation, and I just want to show you all. I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna have to do a special video for Be Rich. Be Rich hooked me up, so y'all stay tuned. I want to show you something that Be Rich. I'm gonna put it in action. We're gonna go in and we're gonna do a video. So y'all stay tuned. I got Boss Hall that did something too. I'm gonna incorporate Boss Hall and Be Rich. This week they have been phenomenal. They have definitely blessed your boy Eco, and I really appreciate you. And Be Rich, it was an honor. I got a chance to meet a unicorn today. The unicorn is Be Rich. Be Rich is in the flesh. He's doing good, and it's good to see you, Be Rich. Definitely good to see you, my brother. So here we go. Let's kick this thing off. A lot of times we talk about this beautiful lifestyle. We talk about getting away from the stresses, having 24/7 vacation that we live in, and you've been thinking about it. You've been chomping at the bit. You've been really thinking about, let's go ahead and dive on in and let's go ahead and do this thing. No matter where you want to go, like I said before, you can be off grid. And as long as you're not breaking any laws, you can be off grid in your own community. You can be off grid in your own nation or wherever you want to be. But today I'm going to be primarily talking about if you consider being off grid. And what I mean by off grid, we understand there are levels to this thing because we got some preppers out here and they will check me. So I'm just letting everybody know that I'm not talking about this extreme prepping far as no nothing, no gas, no nothing. I'm talking about the level of semi off grid living where if I don't pay my electric bill, nothing stops. If I don't pay my trash bill, my sewage bill, nothing stops. I'm talking about where I can truly be out there, be one accord with nature, and live. And if you want to just be able to be set up and to live this kind of lifestyle, I have some things that I would encourage you to try to do before you go ahead and dive on in. Because me and Gigi, we stuck our toe in the pool, and then we kind of swashed around a little bit. We even probably I would say we got into the 3 feet a little bit, right? But we got on out, right? But it's much different between jumping in the ocean and in a swimming pool. Even if you jumped off the diving board and jumped into the 8 feet or even 10 feet, it's different between jumping in the swimming pool. And I consider swimming pool camping, sleeping in your backyard, going to a little resort or something like that. But those are great things to get you started, to get you on your way. But we're going to dive just a little bit deeper. Harmony Gardens and Homestead, how you doing? How you doing this evening? Let me know where you're at. Let me know. David, what's going on, King David? All the way over in Texas. So let's go over number one. It's a lifestyle. First of all, I just want to confess, it is a lifestyle. If you want to choose this lifestyle, it is a beautiful lifestyle. I am missing. When I tell you I love the city of Atlanta, it's a big city. I cannot, well, I probably can, but legally, I can't really go, especially the area I'm in. I can't really go around the corner when I need to relieve myself. I have to go into this building, and then I have to go in multiple stores. Then I have to get my keypad, and then I have to go into the elevator. And then once I go to the elevator, then get on the escalator, and then go to a bathroom, right? Just to relieve myself. Old country boy, I'm used to the country. You know what I'm saying? I just go hang a right, hang a left, or don't even hang, just hang it all, and then just go ahead and let it go. But here in the city, I can't do that. Or sometimes I want to just go and just, other than my room, which y'all know Eco don't like being inside. It's a beautiful evening. I don't like being inside. I do plan to step outside after this live and then still take in the sunset. But in order for me to get fresh air, and if you all did hear in the background, you hear sirens and all that good stuff, man, if you're looking for a place where you can just sit, meditate, no one tapping you on your shoulders, no one's asking you for anything, no one is having their conversations out loud on the cell phone, unless Gigi out there walking around in the woods with me. Other than that, it's all good. Sean, every now and then, he'll tap me on the shoulder, say, "What's up?" And he'll do the cock-a-doodle-doo on me. But other than that, it's all good. It's all good. All right. First, number one, I would recommend that you go camping in a remote area. Now, in the state of Florida, I'm quite sure in a lot of other states, there are a lot of parks, state parks, national parks. Find your place and just spend a couple of nights. I would recommend spending more than one night. Go ahead and find a place. And I'm not saying with a group, I'm not saying with friends. I would say whoever you plan on going off grid with, take a camping trip and to spend a minimum, I would recommend probably a week, but spend at least a minimum of 2 to 3 days. That's number one. That's that's one prep number one. I would recommend that you practice setting up your tents, cooking outdoors. If you're not familiar with grilling, get familiar with grilling, and you can grill in multiple ways. Whether you go directly to the ground with the rocks and build your own fire, I would recommend do not change your schedule. If it rains that weekend or if it's on the weekend, still go through the process. If it seems like it's going to snow, or if the heat index is a little bit hot, still go out there, set a date, and go out there and have the expectations that you're going to see it all the way through. So that's recommendation, I would say, number one. Make sure when you go out there that you're prepared to stay that duration period of time. Take a bunch of fluids, as far as water and all that good stuff. Now, I don't want you to utilize the facilities when it comes to bathing. I want you to truly go out there, and then when you do use the facilities, use it only once a day, and try not to use no electricity when you're using those facilities. But I want you to use all of your power stations. I want you to use a generator if you can, or even if you have a friend who has a piece of property. Is that Auntie Bev? How you doing, Auntie Bev? Good to see you. We're going to have to link up, definitely. Thank you for asking to hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Number two, let's go to number two. Start your garden, no matter where you are. We garden in the apartment, on the terrace, in the window, in your backyard, whether it's raised beds or in the ground. Start your garden if you have not started a garden. I would recommend that you start a garden. Start growing some sustainable foods, not trying to grow something you never necessarily, well, you can grow something you never grew, but make sure there's something you're growing that you're going to eat, that's going to be self-sustaining. Start growing you a garden and learning the garden process. We got a lot of people in this chat right now. They got a lot of tips, a lot of great information about gardening and much, much more. Number three, get familiar with solar panels. Solar panels can be very, very beneficial, especially if you're in the South, especially if you're in the state of Florida, the Sunshine State. But get familiar with it. It's much more than just plugging it in, sitting it out. Pay attention to the sun. I like to look at solar panels as like a baby, because when you're off-grid living, you would think that solar panels, you just set them up, set up your wiring, put everything, and go. That's not correct if you're really relying on this solar. So, classic example. I have a power station. You go camping that day, and you have a power station. That night, just say one of your members of your family don't like sleeping in the dark, right? Then you might have to utilize that power station, or someone may have a CPAP. Someone may have something where they need that continuous feed through the night. They may need a fan because some people on medications, they sweat a lot. They need to stay cool. They need to stay hydrated. Keep all of that stuff in mind. So if you're running that fan, powering it with your power generator or with your power station, it'll absorb all and deplete all your battery life. And then you wake up that next day, you want to plug in your solar panels, and it depending on where you are, you might not even get any sun to like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or maybe even 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now you're not optimizing the amount of time that you could be charging your power station. So what you have to do, and remember I said it's like a baby, you have to turn, if you have multiple panels, You have to turn them towards the sun in the morning. Then you might have to turn them midday. And then in the evening, you might have to turn them to get the maximum power that you need to recharge your batteries. So sometimes you have to do that when you're living off grid, especially in the beginning before you get to familiarize yourself with where you're going to be at. And all these things will be spinning in your head, like, where do I position my tent? Is there a breeze on the property? If there's a breeze, because you'll notice if you have, once you obtain property, once you attain a certain amount of property, you're going to notice where you want to set your tent facing the sun in the morning. Maybe depends on what's the temperature. You want your tent face to the rear of it. Depends on the time of the year, because the sun is your friend, but it also can be something that can be very grueling. All right. So keep those things in mind. Those are some of the things you want to do. And y'all put in the chat too now. Let's see. Hand pink. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it gives me this instead of how you doing, living natural. Living natural. How you doing? King David said, big facts. Big facts. Much love. B Rich says USB fan draws less power. There it is. I'm glad you said that. One of the things that you will be doing on this journey, you will be learning everything that you have, things that you've bought, things that you use. And that's why I say, I don't want you to use electricity at the facility. I want you to use your equipment, use your power station, use your generator, get familiar with your generator, because you may witness that some of your appliances or some of the things you need, guess what? It may draw in a bunch of power. Now, we're going to start this thing slow. The camping piece, I want you to set, like I said, it'd be nice if you do a week. And the reason why I'm saying a week, I want you to still go to work. I don't want it just on the weekend. I want you to still have to get up in the morning. I want you to have to get yourself dressed. Now, imagine this. You done folded up all your clothes and everything, right? You got all your clothes and everything, all nice. And you put them in your backpack or your tote or your suitcase. And then you pull them out. I want you to practice this for real, for real. Remember, you can go to other countries, or if you don't have a job or anything, it's you got more flexibility. But if you have to maintain and keep a place of employment, think about it. If you wear business attire, think about it. You're gonna have to iron those clothes. So, do you have enough power to iron those clothes? Is there the iron that you have? Maybe you need to reconsider a different type of iron, or maybe you can get one of those old school irons where you put it on the fire. Now, think about this. Even if you put it on the fire, just say you slept last night and it was 90 degrees and you sweating all last night, right? And then you're getting up in the morning before day like you normally would, and then you're trying to iron your clothes. What you're going to iron your clothes on? What you're sweating, wetting. What are you going to take a bath that morning? How are you going to take a bath? If you're not close proximity where you're camping at, and I don't want it to be convenient. I want you to truly test yourself, truly test the process of what you're doing. And then you're going to iron on a rock, on a cardboard, on a chair. What are you going to iron on? Think about those things. How are you going to power? How much power will it use? The iron has to warm up. It has a pull when it's warming up. And then when it cools down, it kicks back on. Think about those things. Do you have enough power to generate those things? So not just a convenience of the weekend. Now, if you want to do the weekend, that's cool, but you're cheating yourself. You're not really giving yourself the opportunity to understand how life will be off grid. You got to think about brushing your teeth. You got to think about basic necessities, right? You got to make sure you have all those things. Now, here we go. The cooking piece. Make sure that you have a way to keep your items fresh. If you're taking fruits, if you're taking vegetables, if you're a salad eater like myself, sometimes you may want to dig a hole. Dig a hole, get your Tupperware. You want to dig that hole. You want to put that Tupperware probably about a good 6 to 12 inches in the ground. That can preserve it. That can keep it for a while. You put a little ice around there. That can do it as well. Or you might just put a little chest in the ground and just keep it in the ground. Or you might have a place you want to tuck it underneath a tree or maybe around some rocks. So it really depends on where you are. But think about your food. Think about it. So number one was take a venture camping. Now, if you can truly find a place whether that you're not familiar with, whether it's out of this country or whether it's in this country, or maybe it's in a rural area, you might go to a state you've never been in. It may be worth taking this chance to really see to get that full adventure in a short period of time. So that's something that you definitely might want to consider. So we talked about camping, going on that camping, setting it up, talk about gardening and farming. We talked about cooking. And now number 4, let's talk about outdoor survival skills. Outdoor survival skill. Regenerative, how you doing, Brother Wayne? So, Eco Neighbor, you speak facts as I continue searching for unrestricted rural land in East Texas. Am always purchasing the and building the things I need now, from log splitters to DIY solar electric. Solar stoves is a great thing. You know, powering these these power stations. Power stations are truly a blessing, y'all. I don't think you all understand, no matter how small that power station is, but understand what that power station can do. But how are you going to really know unless you spend some time out here without no aid as far as electricity or anything like that? How are you really going to know whether you have enough days to pull on that power station? You may get a big power station. What I want you to do is you set up your site, but then I want you to just practice some things. What if your battery dies? Classic example, in your car while you're out there, and you're out there, you got a power station. The power station is on the other side of the camp. You have your car probably 25, 30 yards away. You're going to have to unhook everything you've done to that power station, and you're going to have to go over there. Do you have a battery charger? Can you hook a battery charger up to it? Because I always try to keep a battery charger in at least one of our cars when we travel, because if I need to hook up a power station, I can hit a battery charger. These are things that can happen. Imagine a nice, cool, as the weather changes, nice 40, 30 to 40 degree weather, and you mistakenly left a light on, interior light in your car, or not quite closed the door or the trunk. And next thing you know, depending on what kind of car you have, some cars automatically shut down. And then you may, that cold morning, might not be able to start that car. But remember, you got to go to work. I want you to have it where you still got to go to work. So you just got to finish getting up that morning, the break of dawn. You got to leave early because you got to get prepared. You got to get iron. You got to get the generator going. You got to iron your clothes. You got to fresh yourself up. You may need to prepare a meal. It may be in the dark so that you can get there on time. So I want you to really try this stuff. I want you to really do a test and see how well you do. Now, if you want to take that time off to be like, okay, I'm finna reenact. I got 3 or 4 days off. I'm going to try this, but I'm not actually going to work. I might just go through the process of driving from that campsite to work, just to go through the process of what you need to do. And then on your way back in, you want to be thinking, what are some of the things you need? You may need gas. You may need kerosene. You may need air to fill up your air tank, just in case if anything goes down. Because can you imagine you're in a remote location and you got a flat tire? And if you don't have an air compressor out there, you don't have the certain tools or different things to change your tire, then you got to rescue yourself. You can't wait, because that next day you got to go get ready to go to work. And it may take a day or two for somebody to come out there to help you fix your car. So think about those things as we go through this whole thing. Garden State Gardener, how you doing? How you doing? Bless up, my friend. Bless up. Thank you. I appreciate that, Cassandra. Everybody speaking to everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? So now let's go to the next. Let's go to the next item. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We just covered 4 things. No, well, actually, we didn't go in depth with the outdoor survival skills. Outdoor survival skills. What, put in the chat some of the things that you would consider to be outdoor survival skills. I'm going to start out by giving a few here. Some people want to go deep. They want to find water. Do you know how to find water where you are? Or even before you consider the camp space, did you consider water at all? Before you got ready to rent that space, did you consider the natural spring, the pond, the river? Can you drink from there? Is it safe to drink? Or maybe you just brought in some water bottles. Did you bring in enough water bottles to cleanse yourself? Or if you get hurt, you get cut, did you get enough water to rinse out that wound or to cook? Sometimes some meals you might want to plan, they may be canned or something like that. Or you might want to boil something. Make sure you pack enough water to boil, to wash yourself, to clean things. Because imagine you're going to be out here off grid. You're going to be very hands-on. You're going to be touching a lot of things. If you start burning things, you start cutting up a chicken, different meats. You want to cleanse the meats. You want to cleanse your hands after handling those meats. Sometimes you may be using the bathroom and the leaf might have a tear in it. And as you hold that leaf and as you wipe in an outward manner, your finger may go through that leaf or through that piece of paper. And if your finger goes through there, you might tickle yourself, or it may not be so pleasant, and you might catch yourself off guard, and you might be like, "Ooh!" But what happens to the leftover peanut butter that's on your hand? Do you have enough water for all of that? Where are you going to go? Is that water near you? Or are you just going to wipe it off on the ground? You're going to wipe your hands in the dirt, and then once you get there, you'll work it out. Those are things you should really consider. All right. So some survival. Y'all put in there what y'all think about some survival skills, okay? How handy are you? Number 5. How handy are you? While you're at your home, I want to encourage you. While you're in convenience of your own home, I want to encourage you. Fix some stuff. When something tears up, fix some things. Get in the practice of fixing some things, because I'm telling you, you do not want to be so complacent where you depend on people to fix everything for you. You don't want to be in that situation where something tears up. I'm renting. They can fix it. I can just make this call. Or even if I own my own home, get in the practice of fixing. Because what you're going to discover as you start to fix things, you may be a little rusty with handling a ratchet or handling a pipe wrench, or you may have forgotten a few things with tightening, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You might cross-thread some things. You want to practice these things while you are in a good environment where you can get to the point where you understand the inner workings of some plumbing, some things that slides and rolls, your nuts and your bolts, and understand the metric versus standard. You want to replace some stuff. You want to go to the hardware store and fix some things yourself. Woodcraft, cutting some things, making some things. Start developing your crafting skills. Start making some furniture, just some chairs. Take a project. It doesn't have to be nothing large or massive. You might even want to just take some artwork. You take a piece of wood, you go down to your local hardware store, and then you purchase a block of wood, and you may make a race car out of it. You may make a figurine or anything like that. Practice. Auntie Bev is notorious for getting us motivated to sewing. All of these things are very beneficial when you're living off grid, because these things will come into play and you won't even think about it. You just understand when something tears up the throttle on the generator, when you need to choke it a certain way. You might need to adjust it. You might need to find a happy spot. The more and more you work on things and fix things, the better your skill set will become, and the more confident you will become in tackling those things rather than doing without for a number of days until you're able to go to town and able to go to a place where some of those things can be repaired, and then you still got to wait until they repaired. It could take a week, could take 2 weeks, sometimes a month or two to get something fixed, where you could have took a couple of hours and maybe 1 or 2 trips to the store back and forth, and you could fix it yourself. These are things that you could easily do. Grace Guys, how you doing? Good to see you, Grace Guys. Grace Guys. Let's see what Wayne has to say. Always appreciate his input. Outdoor survival, very important as retired military been through real combat and survival training via the military. You may need basic first aid skills. Yeah. How to start a fire, how to live off the land, etc. Let me tell you, there's a lot, and we are in great times because don't slip on your books. You may want to go to used book sales, look for plants in your zone, in your area, look for books that talk about that, read about historical events as far as the Native Americans. They learned a lot of stuff on how to survive off the land. Learn things that are specific to where you plan to off grid. I get it. If you're in Colorado, you plan on moving to Florida, or you're in Florida, plan on moving to Colorado, learn what's in Colorado. Don't learn what's in Florida, because the plant life, the challenges that you may face may be quite different depending on where you are or where you plan. If you're planning on going overseas, like African Dreaming just went ahead. Go ahead and take some trips. Before you take that big lunch, take some trips. Learn about how the temperature is. Alaska has days of no sun. Learn the patterns and learn some things about the environment that you're going to do before you just go ahead and jump on in. Is that She Is Sunshine? Yes, it is. How you doing? How you doing, She Is Sunshine? Good to see you today. Oh, you good, Grace Guy. I got you. I already understood. Learn how to use a tourniquet kit on yourself and somebody else. If they are cut and losing blood bad, you ain't got time to wait. Oh, you don't have time to wait on 911. You are 911. Exactly. You're 911 because ain't nobody there to save you. You know what I'm saying? And it really depends on how remote you are. Of course, you can off grid, like I said, in the city or what have you. But then at the same time, some cities don't allow you to shut your water off, your electricity off. They don't allow you to run generators all day or pretty much throughout the day. Some of them don't even allow you to put solar panels up or anything like that. So learn the regulations that you have, or if you do plan on buying land like what we did, learn what you can do. One thing I wanted to kind of add to Wayne brought up an excellent point. Speaking of 911, I did not know this. We did not have an address. This land was just raw land. One thing you want to do when you purchase your raw land, as soon as possible, you want to go and you want to do two things. When you got raw land, you have no address, no address have ever been there. You want to go and make sure you register your property with 911. The 911 will issue you an address. Once you have an address, then you can get simple things like permits. It just starts that whole catalyst, because I hate for you to go down to the permit office. Then they're going to ask you, what's your parcel number? What's your location? What's your address? You need to have all of that information. So go ahead and get your 911 address, and that way you'll have availability to go ahead and start. Go to the then you want to go to the post office and then get you a true address, post office, location, all of that stuff. So register with 911 first, so they know where to go, know where to come pick you up, and they have a actual address that they can come and find you. Great points. Great discussion, y'all. Excellent job. Auntie Bev says, stop. You need a long stick to pat the ground for serpents. One thing that I think is excellent that you brought up, Auntie Bev, keep you tools, knives, sticks. I like walking the property with a stick. A stick is so handy. Sometimes you can't pow everything. Sometimes all you need to do is just simply take your stick and just rake things away, whether they're bugs, spiders, Sometimes you're walking through the woods, you take that stick and you wipe down that spider web and you keep it on going. That stick can be very handy. Before you step in some places, you want to take that stick and you want to pat things down and see if anything moves. Sometimes you can take that stick and you can rake the leaves away. Sometimes you want to use that stick just to make sure, if you're unfamiliar with that landscape, to make sure that it's solid ground. That stick can tell you a lot of different things. So get you a good firm stick, a good strong stick, not a rotted, easy to break stick. You want to get you a good firm stick that you're comfortable with, not too heavy, not too big, not too small, something you're comfortable with based on you. Is that my friend Boss Hall? What's going on? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Boss Hall, what's going on? Many blessings to you. Living natural. How you doing today? Good to see you as well. So today we're talking about 10 ways to prepare before you go this off-grid thing. You want to prepare. You want to try some things. We're all the way past the halfway point. So just to kind of recap, number one, go on a camping adventure. Try not to utilize any resources other than the resources that you bring. Learn gardening, learn farming. The key is you want to be self-sustained. That's the whole point. You want to have enough food as much as possible to feed yourself. Learn. That's going to take time. And one thing about gardening is not overnight. There is no solid gardener that's all been a gardener just for 1 year. All they've seen is 4 seasons. They haven't seen and have they been gardening the whole season? If they've been gardening the whole season, they'll notice also that there's patterns. So we all learning, no matter how long you've been growing, no matter how long you've been farming. Farmers still learn things. Sometimes they have to change up the bumper crops. Sometimes they have to add nitrogen to the soil. Sometimes they have to plant things they never. Sometimes the market change where they have to change different crops. And if they change those different crops, they never grew them crops before. They have to learn the do's and the don'ts. And then during the off season, they have to replenish the soil. So growing and farming and gardening is something that where you continuously utilize your brain. You're never too old, never too young. It's always something to learn as well. And like I said, camping, number one. The other thing is gardening. Number two, solar oven or cooking. Find a way to cook using nature. A couple of people, I think Regenerative, mentioned about starting a fire. Come on, tourniquet, all of that good stuff. We're talking about outdoor survival kits. Make sure you got your outdoor survival kit. Go around, and I keep talking about quality, quality, quality. Lord, I'm going to keep on preaching quality, quality, quality. When you're out there, you're off grid, do not go. It's fine. You get the dollar kit, or if you get a low cost kit, something that you can stash in different places, but make sure it's waterproof. Make sure it's something that is something you can easily use, because like Regina said, can you do a tourniquet on yourself? Can you tie? Do you even know how to do a knot where you can untie it? Some of us, we can do knots and we can't even untie it without any help. Another thing, snake kits. If you get bit by a snake, do you have a kit for it? Do you have flares? It's a lot of different things. Two-way radios. You have to have a lot of different things that you want to have to account for. You need water catchment system. Y'all stay tuned. Yeah, Be Rich hooked me up. Y'all stay tuned. Between my boy Boss Hall, I'm telling you, I'm dropping this video. I'm going to work on a video when I get back home. And Boss Hall blessed me immensely. And Be Rich broke me off. I had the honor to meet Be Rich. Shout out to Be Rich. And y'all see, do me a couple of videos. It might take me a couple of videos to do a couple of those things, but I'm excited, ready to get back on the homestead and then work on some things. So y'all stay tuned. Much love to you all, and to everyone that supports the channel as well. Loretta Lawrence, how you doing today? Yes, learn to prepare things around the house. I wish I did things when I was able physically, because it would have saved me stress and pressure. Yes. When is the time? Now is the time. Now is the time to do it. Try to tackle some of those projects that you've been putting off. Try to tackle some of those things that you maybe a little bit intimidated on. But I'm not saying be an electrician. I'm not saying being the plumber to redo your plumbing. But you have to be prepared sometimes to be the plumber when you're off grid living and some other things. I'm not going to promote this because I don't want to get nobody in trouble, and your safety is first. You're not comfortable with doing certain things, working in power tools, saws, chainsaws. Uh, have someone that's a professional to walk you through that process. If you see some classes, a lot of these big box store classes, offer classes, ask them about, do they have any upcoming classes for woodworking, for plumbing, for a variety of different things. Get involved and look and see. Don't just do it by yourself, but have some professionals kind of walk you through that. Or even take an online course at some of these technical colleges. It may be definitely beneficial for you to do that because you're investing in yourself. No one in the world can take away a trade from you. So if you have the time, you have the availability, something that has been kind of intimidating you, doesn't mean you're going to be this master electrician or master plumber. But why not take a course? Why not learn a little bit about it? Because this will be a cost-saving tool that can help you through the process, especially when you're doing plumbing on your property, not necessarily your actual living quarters, but it could be just doing irrigation or what have you. So these are some good things that you can do. Know not to leave a food. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. By leaving a food trail, I'm telling you what you're going to do. And these are things you'll experience when you do this camping and when you take those days. Because imagine this, you go camping, you iron, you ate your little breakfast, you cooked on a hot skillet, and then you left the skillet to cool down on your fire pit. You came back from work, and then you see an animal is sitting at your table outside, eating off of some of your dishes, or have gone into your tent, or what have you. Be prepared. These things happen. And then if they go in and they soil some stuff, they mess up some stuff, what are you going to do? Now you got to find a wash house. Now or find that creek. And here it is. You just got off work, and now you rebuilding your tent. You rebuilding your campsite. They may have damaged some equipment. Now they may have soiled some of your clothing, some of your sheets, or different stuff like that. Think about it. Here it is. You just got off. You got to your property, wherever you are, about 5, 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock at night. And now you got to wash. You don't have no washer. You don't have no dryer. You wash, you got to hang it. What are you going to do? You might have to sleep in your clothes. You might have to do some other things. A lot of times what we do is when those challenges come, we walk away and then we'll just say, well, I'll get back to it. But if you consider off-grid living, these are things you cannot walk away from. You have to deal with those situations. Now, let's go into number 6. One of the things you can do, you can attend some off-grid retreats. You can use that beautiful thing called Google. There's a lot of different associations. There's a lot of different groups. You can use social media, and you want to look for off-grid retreats. Those are situations where you typically have a professional or you have someone that's experienced that will be with you through the process. They'll walk you through the process. And so it won't be so intimidating and you won't be out on your own. So there are different things and different, like we have even on YouTube, we have Lead Farmer 73, we got Vision, we have Black's Tropical. We have different people that do a lot of different things where they do outdoor events. They do outdoor camping. You got prepping communities. You got a lot of different resources out here where you can definitely utilize and try some things out. All right. This is something that some people don't do enough of. Remember this, if you're from the city or you're from a metropolitan area or urban area, go camping. I mean, not camping. Go hiking. Start off slow. Go hiking. The reason why I say go hiking, because typically you're going to be carrying a lot of stuff back and forth till you get set up. And even when you get set up, you're still going to have to carry a lot of stuff back and forth. And then get familiar with the sounds, because I'm telling you, one of the things that threw me off when we first got out there on our property, right? I grew up in the country. I was used to the country, but I just realized I spent It's been over 20 years since I truly been in the country. I'm not talking about no national park or nothing like that. I'm talking about untapped land. It's different between national park. They used to human footprints and all that, but animals that's not used to, or environments that are not used to animal contact, deers act different, possums act different, raccoon act different. The bugs are different. The bugs hit different. The mosquitoes got to get used to your smell. The gnats have to get used to you. You got to get used to tasting that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's all of those different things you got to be weird. So I would encourage you, go backpack hiking, work on using a backpack. The reason why I said backpack, because sometimes when you're homesteading, you might need to carry some things when you're going back and forth, or if something tears up. You might be weed eating somewhere, or you might have a garden tractor or even a tractor. Just say something goes awry and you need to go get your toolbox. And in order for you to get to where it's at, you can't drive a vehicle. You got to be able to tote some things. And if you're not in that condition where you're used to walking quite some distance, carrying some things, some heavy loads, you need to start getting in shape in that, because you'll be amazed on how well you get a little lightheaded, get a little woozy. And especially during the summertime, you want to just be prepared for a lot of those things. What we have, Lynette. Yes, learn to prepare things around the house. Okay, I got that one. I appreciate that. Maria Graham, how you doing? Good to see you today. Much love to you. Good to see you. Then we have Marmar. How you doing, Marmar? Good evening, Marmar. So Cat Cat says, when in the woods, wear a hat, belt, and appropriate shoes. Oh my goodness. There's no sagging in the woods. Let me say this. Let your family experience this. Sagging in the woods is not a good thing. You need to bring a belt, and your belt, utilize your belt. Sometimes, like, I don't really like clipping a lot of stuff on my belt, because when you're out here in the woods, and especially in the beautiful state of Florida, and in the summertime, you get sweaty, and you'll notice you'll have to tighten your belt from time to time, because the weight of the belt. If you have a tool on you, understand that tool, or even if you have that tool with a carrier, if it's up against your skin, it will wear on your skin. It'll grind on it. Make sure you get, by you trying and prepping with these things, it'll allow you to get the best equipment and to be able to go back and do a redo. Because sometimes those concealed tool carriers, they're not very comfortable in extreme heat or coolness, and it can rub on your body, and it can leave some scar and some pain. And the one thing you want to do if you're off grid, you want to be as healthy as possible. You want to stay hydrated. You want to have a clean mind. You want to be full of life, and you want to be healthy and energetic as possible, because it will benefit you in the end. All right, let's go down to number 8. Campfire cooking challenges. Organize campfire cooking challenges with friends and family. Bring in people. The people that you plan on off-grid living, make sure they are there to experience this thing with you. If you want to do it first by yourself to see before I even bring in my friend, my companion, or what have you, that's fine. But make sure before you pull that trigger, make sure that they have tried it, and make sure they understand what they're facing. You don't want to get to the point where I'm selling it all, I'm getting rid of everything, I'm diving all in. Maybe I got you. Brother, I got you. And then you go there and you be like, what in the world have we got ourselves into? That's not a scenario you want to be in, because it's never convenient to undo what you're doing. It's never convenient. And you're going to have to, in order to reap the benefits, you're going to have to go through the beginning stage, learning your landscape, learning the season, prepping every time, and you build every single season. You build more and more to your condition, your environment, and you become more successful, and you become more confident in what you're doing as you go through the process. Let me go back to the chat. Regenerative, here we go. Regenerative says, invest in satellite, GPS radio, exactly. People, it's worth the investment. It will allow you to be located anywhere in the world if you're lost, fall, hurt yourself in rural areas stronger than a cell phone. Let me tell you something. Y'all please check out that comment. I totally agree. I always love those nuggets. Um, we have sections where we have strong internet. Now we also have sections where we have no internet. Now I utilize those sections sometimes for the getaway to unplug, but understand that radio, the frequencies, uh, there's not a lot of traffic now that we all in this digital technology. So the bandwidth is far greater, and a lot of times you can actually get better reception off of some of these FM radios or AM radios or what have you. You know, these radios are very beneficial. I would encourage you. The satellite radios are very beneficial as well. But satellite deals with location, positioning, everything. So y'all check out and take a look at it, man. And some of these apps too are cool too. Some of these apps, as you explore your land, these apps you can. I got a few apps that I use where I turn it on and I look at my boundary because I don't have any fencing, but it shows me where I am on my land. It shows me the direction I'm going, and if I get a little confused or get a little bit lost, I can use that app to navigate. Another thing you want to have maybe some pieces of cloth or pieces of a flag or any type of material that you can tie to the tree as you explore your land. These are things that you can take along with you, and you can just tie little strips, and and then you can go back. It's like breadcrumbs. You can go back and then follow your path on how you came. So those are some things you can do as well on uncharted land. Learn to dispose of waste and other re, um, refuse refuge to keep away pests, predators, and disease. Now, um, what's going to happen as well is that's excellent, Cassandra. Is that you're going to find the things that you buy. You're not going to be liking to like buying a lot of jar foods, glass products, canned products, some of your plastics, because um, you want to get rid of some of that stuff. And if you are in a small confined area and you're cleaning up after the meal or what have you, think about this. Where you're gonna put that bag, you want to take that, you cook some fish and you want to take it outside. You can't just leave it out there next to where you're sleeping at. Sometimes you might not even want to put it on your vehicle. Depends on what kind of environment you're in. You could have bears, you could have some other animals that can come and rip open to get at whatever you did put away. So definitely, you don't want to lead animals to you. If anything, you want to lead them away from you. So you don't want to be considered a food source. So thank you so much for that. Tarps, bungee cords, zip ties are always, man, zip ties. I wish, I didn't use so many zip ties since I've been off grid. It's crazy. I mean, sometimes you don't have time to build a framework or a contraption or to screw something in or to bolt something in. You don't have everything right there with you, but zip ties are amazing. Even if I had, like, I have a little bag. I have a little bag I carry with me sometimes. Zip ties are definitely in that bag. So very helpful. Excellent. All late and wrong. Shake my head. I can look. I just appreciate you. You never late. You came on in. Is that Robert? Yes. You learn with Robert. What's going on? What's going on, my friend? I gotta check that short. I was getting ready to set up this live, and I seen you drop the short. Y'all check out. You learn with Robert, man. He dropping some good little nuggets too. Y'all check him out, okay? Grace Guys. Let's see. You should wear and put out reflective markers in places that could be seen, especially at night. And especially, look, um, we have this thing that folds out and it's a reflector and it's got like the hospital mark on it. You could be at a place where people, especially when you're in rural areas, and you could be at a piece of property where don't nobody know where you are, And if you build a little cottage or something like that, the helicopters or the airplanes, they can find you by having that. That's a great suggestion, especially at night. Think about it at night. And then another thing, in Florida, we have what we call fog, and it's thick, thick, real thick, thick. So that's where the satellite radios kick in at. There's no eyesight. You can't see through the fog. Let's see. Have someone who has survival training have them take you out and show you how to use a compass. Yeah, compasses, man. Well, I'm old school, and we didn't have a choice between maps and compasses. I mean, or we didn't have no GPS or nothing like that. So, yeah, if you never use a compass, that's something that does not use electricity. Well, the ones I'm talking about does not use electricity. You don't have to power it up. It's right there. You can put it in the palm of your hand, or you can put it on a stabilized piece, and then you can tell the north from the south, the east from the west. I mean, definitely need to get to know that. You need to know where you start at too. Were you in the west of the property? Were you in the east of the property? Were you facing whenever you look at where you started at? What were you facing? Were you facing east, west, north, south? Do that before you even pull out. How to buy the proper shoes, clothes, how to stretch your supplies out, how to hike. So regenerative. Hopefully you can be assistance to others too, and that's something that we need to definitely utilize. Our veterans, man, our veterans can teach us a whole lot. We are blessed to have quite a few veterans, and Gigi has quite a few veterans in her family as well as I do. Gigi brothers are stacked tight Marines all day long. They have provided us a lot of information throughout the process, and if we ever have any questions, they can give us. I know they've taught some of the sisters some safety tools with the tools and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you definitely want to utilize your resources. Find you a good veteran. Find your veteran to help you out there, especially if you have a great relationship with that veteran. And veterans are man, they have a wealth and a plethora of information, and a lot of them be willing just to go out on your property to keep their skills sharpened too as well, and make friends with people who enjoy outdoors. Make friends with them and build those relationships as well. Ordinary chick, how you doing? Good to see you today. Great talk. Thank you. I appreciate that. Your whole family should know the same survival skills. Save/help each other. Hey, absolutely. 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 There's Miss Native. How you doing, Miss Native? Hey, just watching, reading the chat, and hanging in the bushes. Go on and chill. Get you a glass of lemonade and sit back and relax and enjoy the chat. Thank you for coming on in. Brenda King, how you doing, Brenda King? Good to see you. Happy Mac. Hey, y'all. How you doing? Hey, Happy Mac. You go, Regina, dropping that knowledge. I always carry a small axe. Make sure it's lightweight, easy to carry, and if you keep them sharp, like some people do, be careful. Make sure you do that as well. At least 2 survival knives. Knives, let me tell you, one of the best inventions that man has ever created, and especially when you're homesteading, you definitely want to have knives. And understand this: there's a knife for different reasons. You want to have not only just, okay, you got a dagger. That may not be the best thing for off grid. To me, it's not. It's okay. One of the Rambo knives is okay, this and that. But I use small pocket knives. I use a mid-sized knife because sometimes you just need to simply cut some things. And I use my smaller knife more than I use anything. I really don't really use those. I forgot what kind of knives. We got can openers and all that. You can't use that, but I use the everyday pocket knife more than anything. You can always find a time when you need that. Get a map of the area. Have ropes to make animal perimeters along bales. Yeah, you can put bales up. You can put a lot of different things. Sometimes what I do is I knock down some brush and bushes so that I can hear, especially around where I'm sitting at. Just say sometimes I'm sitting at night. And if especially before we actually opened up the property, when we had like bushes pretty much around us and one way in and one way out, a lot of times we left the debris around us. So if anything came through that built up debris, we would hear them approaching. So that's an excellent suggestion. True, growing up, I never knew a man that didn't have a pocket knife on him at all times. Very handy. So true. Very handy. So we're going to get down to the last one, number 10, which regenerative, a lot of other people. Find you an expert, not only with nature, but find you some friends that know electricity, that know how to make their own cleaning products, that know how to purify water, that know how to do a lot of different things using nature. So people who know how to make soaps, people who know how to do more with lemons than drink lemonade, you know, people who know how to make vinegar, who know how to utilize vinegar. Get to know some of the people that are very, and look at some of those channels. I mean, you might feel like I'm never gonna make soap. You never can tell. You may need to make soap. You may have the resources on your property to make soap. That soap and that process can teach you a lot about a lot of other things. So learn some skills and step outside the box. And when you first go out and do the first step, which I said was that hiking trip, and try to do it when you have to go to work or you have to do something that you would do on your everyday life, or if you retired, do it. Have it incorporated a day where you go on your routine doctor visit, you know, or your routine Bible study night. You know, do this project for a number of days where you have to be somewhere where you have to deal with everyday society. And then you got to come back to this beautiful thing we call off grid. Because in order to be uh, accepted in society, you can't be like the great John the Baptist. You can't just be out there eating twigs and having these skins all over your body and then walk downtown ATL and think you're going to be received and think you're going to be able to walk into a office or a professional meeting. But I want you to be out there, be in that environment, and think about your shaving, think about your cosmetics. You're not going to be able to control the temperature all the time. You're going to be sweaty. So that mascara may run, the lipstick may melt in the canister. Just go out there and do it. And then you will see that there are a lot of hurdles that you didn't encounter on your everyday routine that you're going to have to encounter. But it's not to scare you off, it's not to turn you off, but it's to prepare your mind to make you really think about what you need and what you don't need, because this is what it all boils down to. Because I'm telling you, if you can make it through this journey and you can go through this journey, you will learn a lot about yourself that you never had an idea. You will learn that you have more strength, not only mentally, intellectually, spiritually, but physically. You'll also learn how to be more when you do go into the work environment or the professional environment, or when you go, if you're in sales or if you're in leadership roles or what have you, you will build this confidence and this inner strength that not only will you be able to share it with others and inspire and motivate others, but it will be very beneficial to you, because the things that the everyday person in America deals with, some of the things they get frustrated about, is nothing in comparison to when you're living off grid. Because when you're living off grid, your challenges that you face are every single day, and every single day you work, and every single day there's preparation. And then you're fighting against this thing called daylight, and you want to do everything you can before the sun goes down. So I'm hoping that some of these 10 prep ways to get yourself ready for this off grid, I'm hoping that it was beneficial. Please go back and replay this. Read the chat. There's a lot of good information. A lot of good information. We got a lot of awesome people that's in the chat They provide a lot of additional information way beyond my scope, way beyond what because there's no one source to solutions. But together as a community, together with a collaboration, we can build a great community. We can build a resilient community. And we can also be able to share with our youth. Because one thing that I'm learning as I get older is all of our youth is the reason why we should be doing what we should, not just to get, all right, if you're 40, 50, some odd years old, you should be able to you should be able to break up your life as pieces of pie. A part of that pie should be given back to our youth. They are amazing. They have totally changed the landscape of how we do what we do because of the youth. I am here on YouTube talking to you, no matter where you are. I am here because of technology, because of the youth, and we got to embrace it, and we got to also allow our youth to get involved. I did attend a workshop. I've been attending workshops all week, and will continue. But one workshop that stood out, it's probably about 5 or 6, but one of them in a line with what we talk about is um, we need more of our women, no matter what color, what creed. We need them more involved into, let me see if I can get this down. I apologize. I let that chat get away from me. Hold on for 1 second. We need more women involved with our AI technology. We need more people involved of color, people with skin tones like mine, with skin tones like others. We need them more involved. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the wheel is moving fast. And we talk about disparities, we talk about wealth gaps, we talk about a lot of different things. But the challenges are, if we're not in these conversations, we're not grooming our kids to get involved with this, and we're not really getting them involved, the AI will be just as racist as people. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean, if all your developers are from a male perspective or from a certain ethnic group, then all we're going to see and all we're going to interact is from their perspective. And we're talking about this stuff will incorporate all of our lives. I think if we embrace it and get rid of the fears and truly embrace it and utilize it as a tool, and if we can get our youth involved and we can get more women involved, because our beautiful queens, they see things different from just a male perspective. Because if it's male dominated technology, when it comes to interacting with people, because there will be a social piece where technology will interact with people, we got to make sure that we have different perspectives in some of the technology and advancement of technology, because we need to welcome more diversity into that. And the reason why I say that, because I'm going to tie this into off-grid living. I know you think I went way off, but imagine the future where you may have a chip or a contact lens, and you're walking through the woods, and no longer you're pulling out your phone, no longer you're pulling out an app, but you look at a tree, and your brain, it can read that your brain wants to know what type of tree that is. Or if you're growing, you can look at a plant, and no longer do you read the label, but you can look at that plant and you can tell what season the plant, what soil condition, how to water it, whether it's moderate sunlight or full sun. We are advancing very quickly, very fast, to the part where we're going to have human integration along with this technology. Now, if we don't have different collective inputs, we may not have that piece where that's a child. You shouldn't do that when you look. Or that's an animal. We need to care. By having these different perspectives, or that's disrespectful, putting that up there. Or that's not really eco. That's David Corey. Or that's Wayne. By us not having those inputs, it would only have that one mindset, that one perspective, and some things can get a little confusing. So I'm encouraging for more people to embrace it and understand that, here you're on the farm, you got a sick cow. You can look at the cow, you can look at maybe the broken leg, or you may look at the animal could be vomiting, or you might look at the bowel movement, and that AI technology will be giving you all kinds of different information. So it will definitely make us more efficient and productive if we have a say so holistically. And so I want us to not stick our heads in the sand. Let's motivate our youth. Let's inspire our youth, because they can come up with solutions. I trust our youth. We raised them, and we got to invest in our youth and support our youth. And let's embrace that whole process. And let's teach them the manual ways that we've been doing things as we grew up. Let's share some of these. That's the whole point of, sometimes I go on this tangent about how we grew up and what we did, because I want to share some of those things that we did and allow them to use their imagination, allow them to use their creativity and be empowered to be like, oh, Eco did this. We can apply this to this technology. We can do this. We can do this to make things a whole lot better, right? And then if we throw that humanity in there, we can change this whole thing where we can collaborate and integrate all of this stuff into a beautiful world. J3S, how you doing? Thank you for coming on in. I'm getting ready to get on out here. Thank you as always. Let's see what Regina always tell at least 2 people where you're going. Oh my goodness. Yes. Because sometimes I be back there on that property and I was like, Gigi don't know where I'm at. Let me let Gigi know where I'm at. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So communication. Yeah, we still got more in the chat. Let me try to go through. Jay, what you said, Jay? I think I saw you say something. He says, I bet y'all don't remember the 007. Yeah, I remember the 007. That's Boss Hog. What's up, Boss Hog? J3 said, okay, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, I remember 007. Better believe that. All of that. And sometimes you need to go back and watch some of them Westerns and watch some of those things what they used to do to live, because a lot of them old Western, they lived off grid. It's funny how you should say that got a soap making kit about a month ago. So you got a soap making kit. Cool. Wow, so much confirmation. Let me tell you, my brother, Gigi too. She teach courses too as well. So, if you're interested in getting that one-on-one, holler at Gigi too as well. Learn to use a drone. See, Auntie Bev, I'm like I said, I'm gonna try to wind this down, but you are exactly right. This is how we need to learn how to incorporate technology until using it as a benefit while off-grid living. Like, for instance, what if you want to go and explore a piece of your property you never explored before? You want to go take a look at it. Led Farmer was a class example. He did that as well. Those are ways you can do all those different things. Harmony, what you say, Harmony? Book recommendation, Peterson Field Guide to Edible Wild Plants. Yes, please get your books, and make sure you get books where you're going to be off-grid living. Because I found some books, I'm not saying this book recommendation, but I'm saying some books you may get, and it was written for maybe the Appalachian Mountains. It doesn't apply to where I'm at. So make sure you do that. Let's see. AI is the present and the future right now. This is one of the reasons why you're seeing the big auto strike right now. I love AI. That's the thing. We're going. It's like the manufacturer. At one time, there was not a plant. Only 1 or 2 people built a car. Then it was a plant. Then after it was a plant, then there came a chip. Then you had robots. Then you got. It's a part of the process and the growth of man. And it's funny how sometimes we look back at manufacturing, which we want to bring that back, and then we look at the conditions. We look at the hazards, we look at the interaction with chemicals and all that stuff, and we say, what in the world were they thinking? So we got to embrace moving forward, but we just need to have, we got the opportunity now to have a say-so in some of the development if we get involved, And for some of us that are maybe a little bit older, if we can just welcome the youth to have some conversation, let them tell us a little bit what their thoughts are, and let us not be negative, but let us give them some of our input, and maybe they can pass that along. They're already making drones with more AI capabilities, which will be very helpful off grid. The AI drone will follow you in the woods, and its own can like on its own, correct? Go get help, etc. I saw this. See. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on in, Happy. Thank you for coming in. J3GS says, I have a drone since 2017 and have not used it. Get your new drone, bro. I'm telling you. That drone, you need to check out the new drones. I had one back in the days. It's like I ain't have a drone. I mean, my new drone in comparison to my old drone, it's like I ain't even had no drone. For real. It's like night and day. Definitely changed some of the portfolio to AI. That's that man. He always got that mind on that money, boy. There are a lot of truth to a lot of the movies. Yeah, we saw back. Yeah, they trying to tell us. They trying to tell. Hey, Toya, how you doing? Good to see you. Good. I'm getting ready to get out of here, y'all. Much love to you. Thank you for coming on in. Hope I said something that was beneficial. Make sure you go ahead and practice. Go ahead and try it out. See how it works, and then learn from those trials, and then increase your storehouse, your skill set, and increase. And the bottom line, what you're doing, you're growing. So whatever you do, just make sure you keep on growing. Grow. Y'all take care. Be well. Be blessed. Much love. Yeah, man. I'm still here, baby. I'm still here, Sunday. What's going on, man? Yeah. Still here, my brother. Downtown.